9 out of 10 people with declining kidney function have no idea it's happening. That's not a rounded up scare number, and it's not because people aren't paying attention. It's because early kidney disease usually doesn't hurt, and it doesn't come with an obvious warning label. By the time most people notice something's wrong, the kidneys have often already lost a significant amount of function. But the flip side is also true. If you know what the early, easy to miss signs look like. So today, 8 signs in 2 groups. The first 4 are subtle and easy to blame on just getting older. The last 4 are your body speaking up more clearly. We'll go through what each one means and exactly what to do if one sounds familiar. This isn't a video meant to worry you. It's meant to do the opposite. Give you a clear, specific list so you're not left guessing, and so you know exactly when it's worth calling your doctor instead of shrugging something off. Your kidneys do a lot of quiet, unglamorous work. They filter waste out of your blood, balance your fluids, regulate blood pressure, and keep your minerals in check. When they start slowing down, the rest of the body often feels it before you'd ever think to check the kidneys themselves. That's why kidney disease is sometimes called a silent condition. The National Kidney Foundation estimates that about 9 in 10 adults with the disease don't know they have it, and even among people whose kidney function has already dropped significantly, roughly 1 in 3 still haven't been diagnosed. The 2 biggest risk factors are the 2 most common conditions in this age group: high blood pressure and diabetes. If you have either one, this list matters even more. Sign number 1, in the early and easy to miss group: fatigue that doesn't match your day. Not normal tired after a long day feeling, a heavier, harder to shake exhaustion that shows up even on ordinary days. Here's why it happens. Healthy kidneys help produce a hormone that tells your bone marrow to make red blood cells. When kidney function drops, that signal weakens, red blood cell production slows, and you end up with mild anemia, which shows up as exactly this kind of bone-deep tiredness. Fatigue has a dozen other causes too, from poor sleep to thyroid issues. That's exactly why it's easy to write off on its own. Keep it in mind as we go. It starts to matter more in combination with what's next. Sign 2. Swelling around your ankles, feet, or lower legs that wasn't there before. When kidneys aren't filtering as well. Sodium and fluid that should be leaving your body build up instead. Gravity pulls it down, which is why it shows up lowest first. Ankles and feet, especially by the end of the day. Quick way to check. Press a finger gently into the skin over your shin. If it leaves a dent that takes a few seconds to bounce back, that's a specific, useful detail. Sign 3, and this one's the most direct clue your body gives you: changes in urination. Foamy or bubbly urine darker than usual, needing to go noticeably more or less, or waking up multiple times a night to go. Foaminess specifically is worth knowing. It can mean protein, something that should stay in your bloodstream, is leaking into your urine because the kidney's filtering units aren't holding onto it properly. None of these automatically mean kidney trouble. Hydration, medications, and prostate issues cause similar patterns, but it's easy to notice and easy to mention in one sentence at your next visit. Sign 4 is the one people almost never connect to their kidneys: persistent, unexplained itching, especially without a rash. When kidneys aren't clearing waste products and minerals properly, those substances build up in the blood and irritate nerve endings in the skin. It's not dry winter skin itch, it's more constant, and lotion doesn't touch it. That's the last of the early, easy-to-miss group. On their own, none of these 4 prove anything, but if 2 or more sound familiar, that's already worth a conversation. Hold that thought, because the next 4 signs are your body being much less subtle. Quick recap before we move on. Fatigue, swelling, urination changes, itching, that's the quiet group. Now here's the group that tends to show up once kidney function has dropped further, and where I'd say it's worth calling your doctor sooner rather than waiting. Sign 5. Frequent muscle cramps, especially in the legs at night. This has several possible causes on its own. But as kidney function drops further, electrolytes like calcium, sodium, and potassium can fall out of balance, and muscles depend on that balance to contract and relax properly. If cramps are new, frequent, and showing up alongside signs from the first group, that combination means more than any single sign alone. Sign 6. A real drop in appetite, an ongoing metallic taste, or nausea without an obvious cause like a stomach bug. As waste products build up in the blood, doctors call this uremia. Once it's significant, it can dull appetite and taste, and sometimes cause nausea. This tends to show up as kidney function has dropped further, not in the earliest stages. Unintentional weight loss alongside this is worth flagging by name to your doctor. It changes how urgently they'll want to test you. Sign 7. New difficulty concentrating, or a foggy, harder to think clearly feeling that isn't your normal baseline. Same root cause as the last sign. Waste products that would normally be filtered out can affect brain function too. People usually describe it less as memory loss and more like thinking through water. This overlaps with sleep quality and blood sugar too, which is exactly why it matters most as part of a pattern, especially alongside cramps or appetite changes. Sign 8. And if this one shows up, it's worth calling your doctor this week, not waiting for a scheduled visit. Shortness of breath with mild activity, or puffiness around the eyes, especially in the morning. 2 mechanisms cause this. Fluid that isn't being filtered properly can build up around the lungs, making breathing feel harder than it should. Puffiness around the eyes shows up first thing in the morning because protein loss in urine lets fluid collect in looser tissue, like the skin around your eyes. Here's the important context behind all 8, almost none of them, alone, point specifically to the kidneys. Fatigue could be your thyroid. Swelling could be your heart. Cramps could be dehydration. What actually settles the question is 2 simple, inexpensive tests: a blood test called eGFR, which estimates how well your kidneys are filtering, and a urine test that checks for protein. If you recognize 2 or more signs, especially one from each group, that's not a diagnosis. The encouraging part: chronic kidney disease caught early can often be slowed significantly, sometimes for years, mainly by managing the 2 biggest drivers, blood pressure and blood sugar, closely with your doctor. It's not one food or supplement fixing it. It's consistent management, and simply not letting early signs go unspoken. None of these 8 signs should make you anxious every time your ankles swell after a long day or you're tired after a bad night's sleep. They're meant to give you a specific, real list, so when something doesn't add up, you know it's worth a conversation instead of a guess. If any of these 8 sounded familiar, write it down before your next appointment. Not worth losing sleep over tonight. If this was useful, a quick like helps this reach more people who need it, and if you know someone managing diabetes or high blood pressure, send them this one. Those are exactly the people this list matters most for.